Hi everybody, this is Chase with Advantage Homes in Liberty. Today I'd like to talk to you about steps for buying a mobile home. This video is intended to lay out those steps. I'm going to discuss each step, and then towards the end of this video we're going to discuss myths, popular myths that people tend to throw around. Some of them may or may not be true, depending on the person. So the first and foremost and most important step of buying a home is you have to know where you're putting the home. Where are you putting it? Is it going to be on your land? Is it going to be on family land? Is it going to be land that you're purchasing? You have to know and have to have a plan of where that house is going, and you can't go into it blind. Now, if you need help finding some land, if you want to buy the land by itself and then possibly put a home on it later on, that will be more than likely a job for a licensed real estate agent. Now, we do offer financing for land home packages. So say you wanted to get pre-approved and you wanted to get a land and home package together. You would come in, we would get pre-qualified at that point. Maybe you had been looking at land. If not, then we would sit down and we would get you pre-qualified, get your pre-approval, and then I would help you get with a licensed real estate agent, and we would find that land and get the ball rolling on the process that way. So, step number one, where are you putting the house? Step number two, and just a little disclaimer, these steps are preparation for buying a home. I said steps for buying a mobile home. A lot of these steps are more or less preparation to be able to buy a mobile home. So as you're going through these steps, you're preparing to make the purchase of a home. Second step, do you have down payment? Now, I know that a lot of you have heard of put your land as down payment. Okay. Land is not actually used as a down payment. Land is used as collateral, and it is equity into the package when you buy a home. So if you think in your head, my land's worth 10 grand, and that means that I get 10 grand down on my new home, not exactly, but other than that, you want to have, if you're not involving land, you want to have cash available. Now, this can be, if you're going to be financing, your down payment can be gifted to you from a relative, friend, parent. There just has to be proof of where the money comes from. Most all banks are going to require proof. But second step, real simple, make sure you have down payment. So to recap, first step, where are you putting the home? Second step, do you have down payment available for when the time comes? Those two steps are going to be your preparation for this next step. So the first two steps are something for you to think about before you proceed with step number three. Step number three. This is the most important step that you can ever take, whether you're buying a site-built home or whether you're buying a mobile home. Either way, this is hands down the most important step that you can take, period. End of story. Are you pre-qualified? Have you filled out that application? Have you talked with a bank, sat down and looked? Because you want to look at several things. You want to look at, number one, based on your credit, how much money down are you going to need? What is your interest rate going to be? How long is the term of the loan? All these questions are answered by filling out that application. You're going to want to take that step. I cannot emphasize, I tell people all the time, this is not like buying a car. It's like buying a house. There's nothing else like it. In the site-built world, most real estate agents, or actually every real estate agent that I know, won't even show you a home unless you're pre-qualified. And will I show you a home even if you aren't pre-qualified? Absolutely. But I will say this, hands down, every customer that has came in and has gotten pre-qualified and then looked for their home has had a much, much better home buying experience than any of my customers that have came in and tried to approach the home buying process as if they were purchasing a vehicle. So just keep that in mind. Just to go over the steps again. First step, where are you putting it? Second step, do you have down payment available? And those two lead into step number 3, are you pre-qualified? Have you gotten pre-qualified? You want to have the first 2 done, and you want to have thought about the first 2 before you follow through with step number 3. Step number 4, and this is where it gets exciting. So you figured out where you're putting the house, you figured out your land situation, you figured out your down payment situation, where's the money coming from, you've gotten pre-qualified, you filled out the big scary application, you've taken that leap of faith, you've taken that step, and you're pre-qualified. You know without a shadow of a doubt that you can get a home. So this 4th step, step number 4, you find the home that you want. This is the fun part of my job. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, I'm a home salesman. Well, I like to tell people 99% of my job is finance, because that's what I spend the majority of my time doing, is financing and working with in between customers and the banks and clearing stipulations, almost like a loan originator. But in this part of my job, this is the fun part. So you're pre-qualified, you know that you can get a house, you know what your budget is, and that is key, because now you can just go look at houses, stress and worry free, and it is absolutely a wonderful experience, because you don't go into it thinking, man, I really love this house, but, and you may say, and I've had numerous people say this, but Chase, I just don't know if we can get approved for it. And I always tell people, always, and I will always tell people, it is a lot more enjoyable to go through the home buying process knowing that you can buy than it is going through it and falling in love with the house, and then it turns out that you end up not being able to get the house that you wanted, and then it becomes a letdown. It's discouraging. But I like to say, on the positive side of things, you're pre-qualified, we're finding your home. That's step number 4, is finding the home of your dreams. So that's it. 3 easy steps. And then the 4th one is the fun and exciting one. So the first 2 are preparation for the 3rd. So you've got, where am I putting the house? Where is the land? Whose land am I putting it on? Am I putting it on a relative's land? Am I buying land? Either way, I can help you with all of those decisions. Step number 2, down payment. Do I have money down? Am I using land as collateral? Am I using a trade-in? Because we do take trade-ins. So if you're living in a current home, that's something else to consider. Can I trade my house in? Through all those questions, I can help you out, no problem. Step 3, are you pre-qualified? Have you taken the most important step to buying a home? I cannot say it enough. Step number 3 should be step number 1, but there's a couple steps in there to prepare. Step number 3 is the most important step that you can take to getting into your dream home. And then step 4 is the fun. Step 4, we find your home. So now that all those things are discussed, Jessup Housing, by the way, great homes. They gave me a beautiful mug. Now we're going to discuss common myths for buying a mobile home. A myth most of the time is not true. In some scenarios and cases, it could be true. Most of the time, it's not true. It's a myth. It's made up. It's not real. So, common myths for buying a mobile home. Buying a home is like buying a vehicle. This is false. Buying a home is like buying a home. Buying a home is unlike purchasing anything else. It's the single most important purchase that a person will make in their entire life, is purchasing a home. It is not like going to a car dealership. I want this car. The finance guy has 15 different banks. They can shotgun my credit out, and no matter what, they're gonna find a way to get me in that car. Not the same thing. Getting finance for a house, going through the home buying process, the whole entire thing is totally different. It is not like purchasing a vehicle, not even close. Hands down the most important decision you can ever make. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because, and you know, people come into it and they treat it a lot like buying a car. It's not even close. Not even close. The second myth, and this ties into the first myth. So buying a mobile home is not like buying a car. It never has been. It never will be. Well, it may, at one time it may have been similar, but now in today's age, buying a mobile home is, you go through the same process, almost, not quite, but almost as if you were buying a site-built home. Second myth, myth number 2, the home buying process happens overnight. Folks, this is just things for you to, food for thought. It's food for thought. The home buying process does not happen overnight. It is not a quick process. You are purchasing a home. The quickest process in purchasing a home is if you were to come in here with a check, write a check for the house, your land was prepped and ready, you were ready to go, and there's no Southeast Texas weather that's messing up our delivery schedule, and we can get your house out in 24 to 48 hours. That is the quickest that this process can go. A big misconception out there is that purchasing a mobile home is like that. Quick, I can have my house out there. It's like driving up to the car lot that morning and leaving that evening with your brand new car. It is not like purchasing a vehicle, which is myth number 1. Myth number 2, it does not happen overnight. Myth number 3, one of my personal favorites. All houses and dealers are the same. Now, this one for me is a big deal because they're just like, this is where it may be similar to cars, and this gets people confused, is that there are so many different brands, there are so many different dealers, and people tend to hear the same thing from every single dealer. So to kind of shorten it up and make it brief, all brands and all houses are not the same. You want to find a salesperson that can tell you the differences in how they build their houses, because All houses are not built the same. They're not created equal. There are certain materials that are different. Maybe they're from a factory that's farther away from their location. It spends more time rocking and rolling on the road. And maybe the dealer and the dealerships aren't the same. You know, just because I sell mobile homes doesn't mean that you'll find a guy that's like me that's going to give you the service that I will give you. So don't make the mistake of thinking that everybody's the same, everybody's got the same prices, everybody's got the same houses, and everybody's going to give me the same service, because that's just not true. You want to do your research, and you want to buy from a dealer that you believe in, and from somebody that you trust, and from somebody that's going to back up their product. You're making a huge decision. You're going through this process. You want to buy from somebody that's going to take care of you through and after the sale. And my closing point and a little bit of advice is do your research. Folks, I cannot tell you enough. Pick up the phone, come to the office, sit down, ask questions. I always tell people, if you find another home somewhere else that you just fall in love with, you can't live without it, that's great. That's fantastic. I'm happy that you found that house. I'm happy for you. But there is a chance that I could get you the same exact house or something very similar to it. And literally, I don't mean this as a sales pitch. This is true as the grass is green. I could save you thousands of dollars if you were to bring me that floor plan, bring me that price. Chances are I could find you the same exact house and save you a bunch of money. So, folks, you want to take the time and do your research. And I know, a lot of salesmen may say they may not like shoppers. They don't want people shopping. They don't want people going all over the place and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking. Now, I will say that, that can be a little much. You can get out of line with looking too much, overanalyzing. Things start to get mixed and confused together. But I will say this. If you do good research and you make a purchase that you're happy about, and you know that you have taken the time to look into that house, look into that dealer, and you know that you made a good decision, I can promise you that you will be a happy customer and you will be satisfied with your purchase. And folks, that's pretty much all I have. This video was simply just to try and help people out or give people some direction on how to buy a mobile home. The steps you need to take, the preparation. I know that nobody taught this to me in school, whether it be high school, college. Nobody sat me down and was like, so, thinking about buying a house, this is how you go about doing that. And so my goal of this video is simply to help you out in your future purchase of a mobile home. And I'll close by saying this again. My name is Chase at Advantage Homes in Liberty. Call me today with any questions. Text me. My cell number is going to be on this screen. And always remember this: a short drive to Liberty can save you thousands. Thanks for watching.